Sometimes the Patriots drama is not about the massive contract. It is not always the rumor taking over the timeline. Sometimes it is the small detail that decides who sticks, who falls behind, and who helps Mike Vrabel protect an entire season. Today we have a receiver trying to survive through the return game, a possible heavy body to plug the middle of the defense, a real warning sign at cornerback depth, and even a hidden punter battle. Hit that like button because Foxborough is grinding on the little margins that win football games. Efton Chism III is standing at that brutal point in an NFL player's life. The talent is there. The story is easy to root for. The fan base wants to believe in him. But an NFL roster does not wait around for anybody to figure it out. And I will say it straight, because this is the part that hurts. If Chism wants to stick in New England, it may not be enough to sell people on the idea that he could become the next slot receiver in that Patriots line everybody knows. He might have to win one specific job, a tough one, a physical one, a fearless one, returning kickoffs. Chad Graff of The Athletic brought this up because the Patriots still need a dependable answer after Antonio Gibson's injury. And that is not some tiny little note buried at the bottom of the page. After Gibson tore his ACL last season, New England finished 22nd in kickoff return average. For a team trying to compete at a serious level, that margin matters. Sometimes the offense starts 5, 6, 7 yards deeper, and all of a sudden the play call gets tighter, third down gets longer, and the entire drive feels heavier. The interesting part is that the draft did not give them that ready-made returner. Graff was even surprised by that. So now the fight falls to names already inside the building. Travion Henderson could be electric there, no doubt. Kyle Williams has the speed to flip the field too. But then the roster logic hits you. If Henderson has a bigger offensive role, do you really want to expose him to extra hits? If Williams becomes a vertical threat, does it make sense to add more wear on him every week? That is where Chism gets a door. Narrow, but real. And Chism needs that door because, as a pure receiver, the path is crowded. He had only 3 catches on 3 targets in the regular season, and just 1 catch during the Patriots' run to Super Bowl 58. Demario Douglas is still part of the conversation. Romeo Doubs arrived in free agency. The expectation around a possible A.J. Brown move is still hanging out there. Kyle Williams is being challenged by Elliott Wolf to take that second-year jump. And even an undrafted rookie could show up and steal some oxygen in that receiver room. But this is the hard beauty of football. A player can save his own roster spot by doing something that never gets the headline. Chism averaged 23.9 yards on 16 returns, according to Pro Football Reference. He has change of direction, a low center of gravity, and that ability to slip through traffic and turn chaos into better field position. If he becomes the reliable returner the Patriots never found after Gibson, the conversation changes fast. He is not a luxury anymore. He has a job. And in Foxborough, having a job has always meant something. Now, moving from the kickoff return game into the heart of the defense, there is one thing I just cannot ignore. A team that wants respect in January cannot be soft between the tackles. You can have the promising quarterback. You can have the pretty play call. You can have big names on the perimeter. But if the other team can put the ball on the ground and push you backward, your whole identity starts to crack. That is why DaQuan Jones deserves attention in New England. He is still sitting on the market, and after Khyiris Tonga left for the Chiefs, the Patriots are facing an uncomfortable question up front. Who is going to be that big, reliable veteran body who eats blocks, holds the middle, and lets the linebackers play clean? That kind of player rarely gets the thumbnail. He rarely becomes the hottest fan debate. But inside the building, he changes life for everybody. Mike Vrabel understands the value of that. His defense cannot survive only on pretty pressure off the edge. It needs dirt in the middle. It needs somebody who looks at 3rd and 1 and refuses to get moved. DaQuan Jones would not be a signing that shocks the league because of the name. He would be a signing that brings weight, maturity, and resistance back to a rotation that lost an important piece. And I will tell you this, I like those moves even more when they look too simple to become a headline. That is how strong rosters get built. Tonga had a clear role. He occupied space, battled interior offensive linemen, and gave the rest of the defense a more stable floor. When that type of player leaves, you cannot just act like any big body fixes it. There is technique, leverage, discipline, patience, experience, the ability to stay in your gap instead of chasing a play that is not yours. Jones, because of his veteran profile and physical presence, fits that need. The emotional part for me is this. The Patriots are trying to protect a new era, and that also means refusing to let the defense become talented but incomplete. If the price is low, if the role is clear, and if Vrabel sees the fit inside the locker room, I do not see any reason for New England to ignore that conversation. It does not have to be glamorous. It has to work. And sometimes the player who keeps a season alive is exactly the one who arrives quietly, puts his hand in the dirt, and makes the other offense regret running right up the middle. And when you talk about a complete defense, you cannot stop with size up front. There is a big difference between having 3 good starters and having a room built to survive a full season. Aaron Schatz of ESPN pointed straight at that with the Patriots. The problem is not the top names at cornerback. Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis III, and Marcus Jones give this team a strong base. The concern is what sits behind them. And that is one of those worries that sounds dramatic until the Sunday when it suddenly becomes real. One ankle twist, one concussion, one matchup against 3 fast receivers, and suddenly that 4th corner nobody was arguing about in May becomes a massive piece in the 3rd quarter. That is why I completely understand the idea of looking at Adoree Jackson as a fit for New England. Jackson would not come in to steal headlines from Gonzalez. He would not come in to change the entire identity of the secondary. His value would be different. Experience, competition, one more layer of protection. He has 9 years in the NFL, spent time with the Titans, Giants, and Eagles, played 111 games, and totaled 459 combined tackles with 5 interceptions. That is not some raw flyer. That is a player who has seen a lot, played in different systems, lived through bad weeks, tough adjustments, and quarterbacks attacking the same side again and again. And with Vrabel, that matters to me. A coach who wants a mature defense cannot rely only on top-end talent. He needs players who understand role, communication, technique, alignment, and who can walk into camp making younger guys feel like nothing is guaranteed. Good competition does not hurt a serious roster. Good competition wakes it up. Now, I am not going to pretend Adoree Jackson is some spectacular solution. That is not the conversation. The conversation is responsible depth. It is about making sure a position that looks stable does not become a weak spot because there are not enough reliable bodies. The Patriots are at the point where every small hole can become expensive because the ambition level has gone up. When you are defending a conference title and trying to hold a new standard, you cannot treat the depth chart like decoration. If Jackson accepts a competitive role, if the money is light, and if the coaching staff likes his energy in camp, that call makes sense. Because New England does not have to wait for the emergency before looking for the fix. They can handle it early, calmly, and turn a quiet concern into a camp advantage. And now comes one of those stories a lot of people skip right past, but in New England, I would never treat it as minor. Bryce Baringer came out of the draft looking like a quiet winner because the Patriots could have taken one of the top punters available, and they did not. No Brett Thorson, no Jack Stonehouse, nothing. The first reaction felt simple. His job got a little breathing room. But Foxborough almost never hands out comfort for free. The Patriots invited Mitch McCarthy, the Indiana punter, to rookie minicamp on a tryout basis. He does not have a guaranteed contract. He is not on the active roster. He does not arrive with official threat status. But just having him there sends a message to Baringer. This team is not giving anybody a soft landing in a contract year. And I like that. Not because I want Baringer replaced at any cost. Not at all. He has already shown leg strength. He has had strong moments. And punting in bad weather, brutal wind, and ugly field conditions is not a video game. That snowy AFC Championship game against the Denver Broncos became an example of that. He explained afterward that once the weather got really bad and they were punting into the wind, the priority was not giving Marvin Mims a favorable return chance. And that is a mature read. Sometimes the yardage number does not tell the full story. Sometimes the right job is ugly, short, and strategic. But you can also understand why the Patriots are pushing the position. Baringer had 51 punts last season, a career low, and 21 landed inside the 20. Lower volume can be a sign of a better offense depending on how you read it, but the ball placement did not have the same shine. And when you enter the final year of your rookie deal with a $1.189 million cap hit in 2026 according to SpotTrack, the team starts thinking about the present and the next contract at the same time. McCarthy is an interesting character. Australian, 6'5". He went through UCF after never playing football before, totaled 152 punts for 6,489 yards in his college career, transferred to Indiana, and landed 15 punts inside the 20 during the Hoosiers' national title season. Maybe he is just there for a tryout. Maybe he becomes a camp body. Maybe he pushes Baringer to sharpen every little detail. And that is exactly the spirit. Patriots War Room, what would you do? Would you let Baringer stay comfortable, or would you bring in McCarthy and turn training camp into a real competition? I am on the competition side. Teams that want to win do not protect jobs. They protect standards. At the end of the day, these 4 stories all say the same thing from different angles. The Patriots are not just chasing stars, they are chasing stability. Chism is fighting to turn the return game into survival. DaQuan Jones represents weight in the middle. Adoree Jackson would protect the secondary from a sudden scare. McCarthy reminds Baringer that comfort does not fit Foxborough. And honestly, That fires me up, because serious teams do not wait for the mistake to show up on the scoreboard. If you believe this new Patriots era is being built in the details, subscribe to the channel and stay right here with us. The season starts long before kickoff.